On my wedding day, at a penthouse hotel in Manhattan, my fiancé's assistant publicly accused me of ghostwriting fraud. 300 guests and tens of millions of live viewers watched my reputation get shredded. My fiancé pressured me to apologize, and his mother demanded I sign a prenuptial agreement, hand over my work, my income, my life. I signed. Then, at my second wedding, I exposed everything in front of all the cameras, recordings, bank statements, forged evidence, and their conspiracy. One went to jail, one went to prison, and one was socially destroyed. My wedding was at the top floor of Manhattan's most expensive hotel. 300 people sat in the audience, publishers, media, and relatives of the Harper family, all in custom suits. The live cameras loomed like black gun barrels aimed at my face. The MC said, "Now, the bride and groom will exchange vows." The door burst open. A woman in a white dress rushed in. She ran so fast her hair was messy, tears streaking her face. I recognized her. Sarah Collins, my new assistant recommended by the publisher 3 months ago. "Mandy Quinn is a fraud," she screamed. Silence fell. Every camera turned toward her. She ran to the stage and held up a USB drive. All 3 of her best-selling books? I wrote them. I ghostwrote them. She didn't touch a single word. The room erupted. I heard gasps, camera clicks, whispers buzzing like bees. Ethan stood beside me, motionless, his jaw tight. Sarah started crying. "My mom's seriously ill. I need money." She promised me credit, then went back on it. "I can't even pay my mom's medical bills." Her performance was convincing. The tears were real, the trembling, real. The cameras zoomed in on me. They were waiting for my reaction. Collapse? Panic? Shame? I picked up the MC's microphone, voice steady. "Sarah, you say you ghostwrote. Which book did you write?" She froze. All of them." "Which chapters? Specifically?" "Like chapter 5 of Midnight Echo, where the heroine confronts the villain in the museum. What were the lines you wrote?" Her eyes flickered. I wrote so much. I don't remember the details, but I have proof. Manuscripts, emails, show us now." I stepped forward. "Recite a passage. If you wrote it, you should remember something." Her lips quivered. You're pressuring me." I was under a lot of stress. "I forgot a lot of drafts," whispers started from the audience. Ethan brushed my hand, his voice low. "Mandy, handle this carefully. Don't make it worse." I turned to him. "Handle what?" He avoided my gaze. "Just clarify things." Clarify? He wanted me to prove at my wedding, in front of a live audience, that I hadn't stolen anything? Ethan's mother, Deborah, sat in the front row. She nodded slightly. The MC hurried to hand Sarah another microphone. Deborah arranged this. I realized immediately. Sarah took the mic, crying harder. "Look at her. This is how she's bullied me. Wealth and power allow you to steal from the poor?" The financiers frowned. Journalists' eyes lit up. "Rich bride ghostwriting scandal. Headline gold." I took a deep breath. Then I smiled. I looked straight into the main camera. "Keep the live feed rolling. Don't stop. Don't cut. All cameras on." I turned to Sarah. "You want the truth? I'll play along." Backstage, it was just me and Ethan. He loosened his tie. Exhausted. "Mandy, just apologize for today. Say it was a misunderstanding. Handle it privately." I looked at myself in the mirror. The wedding gown, adorned with 2,000 pearls, now felt like a shroud. I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I apologize? "I trust you." He approached, trying to hug me. I pulled back. "The public doesn't need the truth. They want a story. If you resist now, you'll ruin your reputation. So you want me to admit to something I didn't do? Just a temporary concession," he said softly. "Once you're married, you're a Harper. Do you still need to write?" "No. I'll give you a better life." My fingers dug into my palm. "You think I write for money? Isn't that why?" He smiled lightly. "Come on, be reasonable. Mom said as long as you apologize publicly today, the wedding goes on. You're still the bride." My phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number. "You can't win against this family. Better give up now." "Sarah," I turned the screen to Ethan. "Your little assistant is provoking me." He glanced briefly. She's pitiful. Mom's sick. She needs money. Why bother with her? My heart felt iced over. So he knew who Sarah was all along. He had been complicit. What if I don't apologize? Ethan's expression darkened. The wedding is cancelled. You'll be blacklisted. I mean it. He started to walk away, then stopped. Mandy, I love you, but love doesn't pay the bills. You need to learn to bow. The door closed. I stood for 5 minutes. Then I picked up my phone and made 2 calls. First, to my lawyer. I want all of Sarah Collins' bank statements for the past 3 years, and her mother's medical records. Second, to my data team. Gather all records of my writing, from outlines of the first book to every cloud-saved revision timestamp. Organize everything. The lawyer called back quickly. Mandy, Sarah's mother passed away 3 years ago. I laughed. So the terminally ill mother was fake. The sob story was a script. I stepped out. Ethan and Deborah were waiting. The media was still outside. I lowered my voice. I've thought about it. Fine. I apologize. Deborah smiled triumphantly. Ethan exhaled in relief. The next day, trending #RichBrideGhostwriting Mandy Quinn. Sarah gave an exclusive interview. She released evidence, a secretly filmed clip. I'm in the study. She's reading from the manuscript beside me. The caption reads, Mandy Quinn pressured the ghostwriter to edit late at night. The edit was clever. My face blurred. Her cries clear. Literature bloggers went wild, dissecting my books word by word, concluding, this writing style is clearly by 2 people. Mandy Quinn must have hired a ghostwriter. My publisher stayed silent. Sponsors sent termination letters. 3 events cancelled. Deborah called. Voice sweet. Mandy, you can still apologize. Just admit a moment of confusion, and our family will support you. I almost laughed. Support? Push me off a cliff first, then ask if I need a rope? I opened my laptop and went straight to my discarded drafts folder. Every book had dozens of abandoned versions. And then I noticed something. Every so-called original paragraph Lily quoted in her interview came straight from my unused drafts. She wasn't a ghostwriter. She was a thief. And the timeline didn't match. During the period she claimed she was ghostwriting, she hadn't even joined the publishing house yet. This wasn't a spur-of-the-moment accusation. It was a long-term plan. I opened a video call with my data team. I want more. Login records from all my writing software. IP addresses from the same time periods. Even my music playlists, anything that proves that at those exact moments, I was the only one sitting in front of that computer. The team lead hesitated. Mandy, this will take time. And, it's expensive. Money isn't the problem. I said, I want them destroyed. I took part of the evidence to the police. The officer was polite, but there was doubt in his eyes. Ms. Quinn, these cloud timestamps only prove that you were writing. They don't prove that Lily Hart wasn't involved. I expected that. When I left the station, Ethan's car was waiting outside. He got out, his expression tight. You went to the police? Why didn't you talk to me first? Talk to you about what? I asked calmly. About how to help your mother frame me. His face changed. That's nonsense. Lily was the assistant your mother planted next to me, right? Ethan didn't deny it. He grabbed my wrist. Mandy, stop. Mom promised, if you admit fault, all the Cole family's resources are yours. What do you want? An art foundation? A gallery? I can give you anything. I looked at his hand. The hand that once slid a ring onto my finger. What if I want the truth? He let go, like he'd touched something dirty. Do you really have to burn everything down to feel satisfied? That night, Doris came to see me herself, outside my apartment building. She wore a Chanel suit, like she was dropping by for afternoon tea. Mandy, I'll be direct. You marry into the family and sign an agreement. All your copyrights go to the family foundation. You get annual dividends. Stop writing. Everyone keeps their dignity. And if I don't sign? Then the ghostwriting scandal will ruin you completely. You'll owe breach of contract penalties to your publisher, she smiled. About $20 million. Can you afford that? I lowered my head, shoulders shaking, putting on a show for her. I'll think about it. Doris left, satisfied. I closed the door and opened my voice recorder. The entire conversation, every word, was saved. Then I texted my lawyer, send me the agreement. I want to know where the most poisonous clause is. An hour later, it arrived. I read it and laughed out loud. Buried inside was a clause stating that if any personal scandal of mine damaged the family's reputation, I would be responsible for compensating all losses. No cap. No limit. They didn't just want my copyrights. They wanted me, my future, my freedom, everything. Fine. I replied to Doris, I'll sign. On the day I signed, Doris arranged a family gathering at the Cole estate. Lily was there too. She sat beside Ethan, wearing a white dress eerily similar to mine. The provocation was obvious. Doris raised her glass. Let's celebrate Maddie officially becoming part of our family. She said my name wrong on purpose. Mandy became Maddie, like renaming a dog. I said nothing. I cut my steak. Lily suddenly spoke. Mandy, I've actually always admired you, knowing how to seize opportunities, how to climb so high. The sound of cutlery stopped. Ethan frowned. Lily, am I wrong? Lily's eyes reddened. She stole my book, stole my credit, and now she's stealing you too. That's enough. Doris set down her glass and looked at me. Mandy, apologize to Lily. End this today. Apologize for what? I asked. For everything she's suffered. Doris said coldly. Do you know how many times she's cried these past months? I smiled. Cried because she got caught stealing? Lily jumped up. You're still slandering me. She rushed toward me, reaching for my plate. I stepped aside. She slipped and lunged straight at me. I fell backward. My forehead slammed into the edge of the fireplace. Thud. Warm blood streamed down my face. Ethan rushed over immediately and grabbed Lily. Are you okay? He didn't look at me. Doris covered her nose with a handkerchief. How unlucky. Blood before a wedding, it's bad omen. I wiped my forehead. My hand came away red. Slowly. I stood up and took my phone from my bag. The screen was lit. The recording interface still running. Go on, I said calmly. That was all recorded very clearly. Lily's face went pale. Ethan finally looked at me. You were recording? From the moment I walked in, I said, wiping away the blood. Want me to play it? The part about climbing high, or the part about bad omen? For the first time, panic flickered across Doris's face. Delete it. Now. I turned and walked toward the door. Where are you going? Ethan shouted. To the hospital, I said without turning back. Though I'm sure you'd all prefer I died here. I stopped at the doorway. Oh, and by the way, everything just synced to the cloud. If anything happens to me, the recordings go straight to 7 media outlets. I opened the door. Cold night air rushed in. My head throbbed, but my mind had never been clearer. A week later, Doris asked to meet me at a law firm. She slid over a new document, the prenuptial agreement. Sign it. I flipped through it. Dense clauses. But the core was simple. After marriage, all my income would be managed by the Cole Family Trust, future royalties, investment returns, even prize money if I ever won awards. In exchange, the Cole family would take care of the ghostwriting scandal. What does take care of mean? Convince Lily to change her story. Doris smiled. She's agreed to issue a statement saying it was all a misunderstanding. The price is $5 million in emotional damages, of course, paid from your trust. I understood immediately. It was a trap. First, Lily destroyed my reputation. Then they forced me to buy back my innocence. The money would go into Lily's pocket and eventually flow right back to the Coles. Because Lily was their piece on the board, and I would owe them forever. Locked into that agreement for life. If I don't sign? I asked. Then you'll receive a court summons tomorrow. Doris leaned back in her chair. Lily has already formally filed a copyright infringement lawsuit against you. The evidence is solid. You'll lose. When you do, you'll owe her $30 million. You can't afford that. So you'll have to declare bankruptcy. And when that happens, your books, your name, everything you are, will still belong to us. She smiled kindly. Mandy, smart people know how to choose. I picked up the pen, paused at the signature line. I have one question, I said. Does Ethan know all of this? Doris's smile didn't change. He's my son. He will always stand with the family. The pen touched down. I signed, Mandy Quinn. Then I slid the agreement back to her. All right. When's the wedding? Doris's eyes lit up. Next week. Don't worry, we'll make everything perfect. A perfect trap. I stood and left. In the elevator, I texted the private investigator I'd just hired, watch Lily's accounts closely. Once the 5 million hits, trace where the money goes. Then I texted my lawyer, there's a hidden clause in the prenup, if the marriage ends due to fault on the husband's side, the wife gains control of the trust. I want you to figure out how to trigger that clause. I went silent. No media interviews. No social media updates. When my publisher asked if I needed PR support, I said no. The outside world assumed I'd admitted guilt. Lily, meanwhile, became high profile. She signed 3 brand endorsements and landed a magazine cover titled, From Nothing to Everything, A Literary Prodigy's Rise. In interviews she said, I've forgiven Mandy. She was just temporarily lost. Ethan came to my apartment with roses. Mom said you signed the agreement. He tried to hug me. I'm really happy. We can start over. I stepped out of his arms. The wedding is still on? Of course, he said with a smile. Next week, you'll be the most beautiful bride. He leaned in to kiss me. I turned my head. The kiss landed on my cheek. He froze for a moment, then said nothing. After he left, I wiped my face. My phone buzzed. The data team had sent the full report. Over 1,000 pages of evidence, including split-screen recordings of me writing every book, me speaking the plot aloud to the camera, timestamps accurate to the second, creation dates of all discarded drafts, each at least 6 months earlier than Lily's claimed ghostwriting period. Backend logs from my writing software showing my account logged in on 5 devices simultaneously, all my own computers and phones. No access from Lily. The most fatal detail, the manuscript photos Lily submitted. Metadata analysis showed they were taken just 3 months ago, after she became my assistant. She had secretly photographed my discarded drafts, printed them, reshot them, and fabricated evidence. I saved everything. Then I texted Doris, the prenup requires the wedding to be fully live-streamed. I'd like to add one segment, a bridal speech. Is that okay? Her reply came quickly, of course. You can say whatever you like. She must have thought I was going to apologize publicly. I smiled. I replied, thank you, Mom. I'll prepare carefully. Wedding day. Same hotel. Same hall. 1/3 fewer guests. Some people didn't want to watch the show again. I stood in my wedding dress in the side room. Ethan was beside me, adjusting his cuffs. The MC knocked. Ready? Ethan glanced at me. His expression complicated. Mandy, don't be nervous. I'm not, I said. The music started. The doors opened. We walked onto the red carpet. Cameras followed. I smiled, waved, every inch the perfect bride. At the stage, the MC began reciting the usual lines. Then he said, now, the bride will give her speech. I took the microphone. The room went silent. Doris sat in the front row, smiling and nodding at me. I looked into the camera. Thank you all for coming to my wedding, I said, then paused. But today, the bride isn't me. Dead silence. Ethan whipped his head toward me. Mandy, what are you talking about? I continued into the mic. 1 month ago, my fiancé, his mother, and a woman named Lily Hart jointly planned a scam. They forged evidence, falsely accused me of ghostwriting, forced me to sign a prenuptial agreement, and attempted to control my property and my life. The room exploded. Doris jumped to her feet, face livid. Stop her! Cut the mic! Security rushed forward. I raised my phone and hit play. Ethan's voice blasted through the speakers. Recorded in the dressing room, Mom said as long as you apologize publicly today, the wedding goes on. You're still the bride. Security froze. I raised my voice. But I don't need this wedding anymore. Because the real frauds are sitting among you. I pointed to the front row. Lily Hart, you said you ghostwrote my books. Dare to come up here right now and write a passage with me? Prove your talent. The cameras snapped toward Lily. Her face went white. She tried to hide, but reporters boxed her in. Ethan grabbed my wrist and snarled. You're insane. Do you have any idea how much damage this will cause? I shook him off. Damage? Your damage is just beginning. I pulled out another phone from my dress, prepared in advance, and pressed send. 3 minutes ago, I sent the first batch of evidence to 12 major media outlets. That includes the forensic report on Lily's forged manuscripts, the death certificate proving her mother passed away 3 years ago, and the bank transfer records between her and Doris Cole. I looked at Doris. Mom, your $5 million hush fee moved pretty fast. Doris collapsed back into her chair. The room erupted. The live stream comments went nuclear. Hashtag Mandy Quinn strikes back shot to #1. The big screen lit up. Not the wedding montage, but my evidence presentation. Slide 1, metadata from Lily's manuscript photos. Date taken, October 5, 2023. My novel Midnight Echo was published in March 2022. Slide 2, split-screen footage of me writing. Me speaking to the camera, the villain should be more arrogant, he looks down on the heroine's background, timestamp, August 2021. Lily wasn't in my life yet. Slide 3, bank records. Doris Cole's account transferred $5 million to an offshore account the day before Lily accused me publicly. The account holder, Lily's cousin. Slide 4, text messages between Ethan and me. Me, why was Lily allowed into the publishing house? Him, Mom arranged it, said she was pitiful, wanted to give her a chance. One slide after another. Irrefutable proof. Someone in the audience stood and applauded. A few senior figures from the publishing world who had always supported me. Lily tried to scream, that evidence is fake. She's framing me, but her voice was drowned out. A reporter shouted, MS. Heart. Can you explain why your mother's death date doesn't match the serious illness period you mentioned? Lily opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Ethan ran down from the stage and grabbed Doris's hand. Mom, what do we do now? Doris shook him off and fixed her gaze on me. You think you've won? Let me tell you, the Cole family can make you vanish from this industry forever. I picked up the microphone. Then try me. I opened the last file. A recording. Doris's voice echoed clearly through the hall. Make her sign the agreement. Copyrights belong to us. She's just a writing tool. If she misbehaves, we can always relapse her condition and create another scandal. Ethan's voice was on it too. Isn't that too cruel? Doris. Cruel? Ethan. I taught you either control or destroy. The recording ended. A deathly silence fell. Then people started leaving. One by one. The industry elites rose and walked out without looking back. Doris finally broke. Turn it off. Turn off all cameras. But the cameras were still live. The live stream hit over 20 million viewers. The police arrived. Not because I called them. A lawyer on site couldn't stand it and made the call. 3 officers entered, staring at Doris. MS. Doris Cole. We have a report that you may be involved in evidence forgery, defamation, and financial fraud. Please cooperate with our investigation. Doris screamed, Do you know who I am? I know you're commissioner. The officers remained expressionless. Please cooperate. They turned to Lily. MS. Lily Hart. You are suspected of perjury and fraud. Please come with us. Lily burst into tears and clutched Ethan's arm. Ethan. Help me. Your mother made me do it. Ethan shook her off like she was filth. I didn't know anything. This was all planned by them. Doris looked at her son in disbelief. Ethan? Mom. You do your own deeds. You take your own responsibility. Ethan turned to the officers. I am a victim. I was deceived by them. I almost laughed. This was the man I had loved. Weak. Selfish. Ready to betray anyone at any moment. The police took Doris and Lily away. Cameras followed their disheveled backs. Ethan approached and tried to hold my hand. Mandy. Now we can start over. Without them interfering. Just us. I pulled my hand back. Ethan Cole. I addressed the microphone. Voice clear. I officially notify you, the wedding is cancelled. The prenuptial agreement is null and void. Because the agreement's premise was mutual consent to marry. And I no longer consent. His face turned pale. You can't, the agreement is legally binding. Then we'll see you in court. I smiled. By the way, I also have evidence of your tax evasion. Last year. That Cayman Islands company, want me to expose it publicly? He staggered back as if slapped. I turned to face the cameras. This charade ends today. I said, I am not a ghostwriter. I am Mandy Quinn, author of 3 bestsellers. My talent needs no one's charity, and my innocence needs no one's validation. I removed my veil and tossed it to the ground. Wedding cancelled. Thank you all for watching the show. I walked off the stage. Applause rose. At first sparse, then growing louder. I didn't look back. The next day, my legal team held a press conference. 3 announcements: formal lawsuit filed against Doris Cole, Lily Hart, and Ethan Cole for defamation, fraud, emotional abuse, and contract fraud. Claim $50 million. Submitted all my creative evidence to the International Writers Association. They released a statement confirming the originality of my 3 books and condemning the systemic oppression of female writers. Announced the creation of a writers' defense fund to help exploited, plagiarized, and defamed creators. First donation, $5 million. From my newly received royalties. Ethan called me nonstop. I blocked him completely. He even ran to my apartment, kneeling and crying. Mandy, I love you. It was all Mom's doing. Give me another chance. I opened the window and recorded him on my phone. Mr. Ethan Cole, you trespassed and harassed me without consent. This recording will be added to the evidence. He scrambled to his feet and ran. Lily wrote from detention. Handwriting sloppy. Mandy, I was wrong. Doris used me. She promised money for my mom's treatment. My mom is really sick. I had my lawyer reply, your mother died 3 years ago. See you in court. The head of my publisher personally came to apologize. Mandy, we were deceived too. For your next book, we'll increase royalties to 15%. I said, my new book won't be with you. I signed with another publisher. 20% royalties. He left. Humbled. Doris sent a message through her lawyer, seeking settlement. She's willing to apologize publicly and pay $10 million. Please drop the lawsuit. My lawyer replied, our client does not accept settlement. See you in court. That evening, I sat in my empty apartment, sipping red wine. My phone lit up. Unknown number. I answered. Mandy Quinn? A deep, pleasant voice said, I'm Noah Reed. Saw your press conference. Very impressive. I'm organizing a writers' protection program and would like you to collaborate. Coffee sometime? I smiled. Sure, I said, but I picked the place. 3 months later, 1 week before trial, Lily suddenly applied for house arrest. Reason, pregnancy. She held a press conference, barely showing a bump, crying. The child is Ethan's. Please, Mandy, spare the 3 of us. The child cannot grow up without a father. The internet exploded. Hashtag rich abandoned bride pregnancy power move trending. Ethan even gave an interview. I will be responsible for the child. I hope Mandy understands. After all, this is a life. Understand? I immediately had my lawyer submit new evidence. Lily's prenatal report was forged. She wasn't pregnant. She bribed a doctor. Also submitted Ethan's medical report. He was diagnosed with low sperm count last year. Natural conception probability under 5%. The press conference went live. Connected to me in real time. Lily Hart, you said you've been 3 months pregnant. Then you should be able to provide real ultrasound images and prenatal blood tests. If you go to a hospital now under media supervision for a re-exam, I'll drop the lawsuit immediately. Lily's lips trembled in front of the cameras. You're forcing me to go to a hospital? This is humiliating for a pregnant woman. You're not pregnant, I said calmly. You were just acting again. The next day, the police took Lily to the hospital for a mandatory check. The results were clear, she wasn't pregnant. Public opinion flipped completely. Lily was vilified online. Ethan became a laughingstock. Doris's last hope was gone. In court, she tried to attack me. This woman is evil. She destroyed my family. She will get what she deserves. The judge struck the gavel. MS. Doris Cole, watch your language. I sat at the plaintiff's table, silent. On Judgment Day, the sun was bright. Doris Cole, guilty of evidence forgery, fraud, and defamation, sentenced to 7 years in prison. Lily Hart, guilty of perjury, fraud, and extortion, sentenced to 5 years in prison. Ethan Cole, guilty of aiding fraud and perjury, 3 years probation, plus massive civil damages that nearly drained the Cole family trust. The judge finally asked me, does the plaintiff have anything to say? I stood. No. I said, justice has been served. Ethan lost everything. The family business's stock plummeted and was acquired by a competitor. He was ousted from the board. Former friends avoided him. High society invitations stopped coming. He tried to commit suicide. Overdosed on sleeping pills. The butler found him and rushed him to the hospital. The media wrote, heartbroken socialite attempts suicide for love. His lawyer contacted me. Mr. Ethan Cole wants one last meeting with you. He says he has something to say in person. I went to the hospital. He lay in the bed, pale, wrists wrapped in bandages. Seeing me, his eyes reddened. Mandy, you came. I stayed at the doorway. 3 minutes. I know I was wrong. He cried. I was weak, selfish, followed my mother, and hurt you. But I truly loved you, from start to finish. I only ever loved you. I said nothing. Give me one more chance. He struggled to sit up. We leave here, go to Europe, start over. I want nothing else, only you, Ethan. I interrupted. You didn't love me. You loved the label brilliant writer bride. You needed a woman worthy of your family, but not so strong she could threaten your mother's control. I just happened to fit that role. He shook his head. No, 3 minutes are up. I turned away. Mandy, he shouted. If I die, will you regret it? I stopped. No, I said. Your life or death is not my concern. I walked out of the room. The hallways were crowded with reporters. I didn't speak. I simply left. The next day's headlines, #Mandy Quinn cold to ex-husband suicide attempt, but the public didn't attack me. Top comments praised, serves him right. Didn't think about this when he tried to ruin someone else. 1 year later, my new book, Just Deserved, was released worldwide. First week sales surpassed 1 million copies. The cover bore a line, I don't forgive, but I am free. I appeared on Time magazine's cover, The Stigmatized Genius and Her Justice. Doris wrote to me from prison, handwriting trembling, Mandy, I was wrong, truly wrong. I have cancer, won't live long. Please visit me. I have something about your mother to tell you. I threw the letter away. Lily also wrote, Mandy, I've been learning to write in prison. When I get out, I want to be a real author. Can you give me some advice? I didn't respond. The publisher wanted to hold a celebration for me. I refused. I moved to Tuscany, Italy, rented an old villa with a vineyard. Daily routine, writing, walking, drinking wine. Noah visited occasionally. He founded the Writers' Protection Program. We became friends. Sometimes dates, but no labels. In the fall, Doris was released on medical parole. Through her lawyer, she begged, she wants to see you before she dies. She says she has a secret about your mother to tell you. My mother had died when I was 15. A car accident. I hesitated, then went. In the hospital room, Doris was skeletal. When she saw me, her eyes brightened. Mandy, you came. You tell me. I stood by her bedside. Your mother, it wasn't an accident. She gasped. It was your father. He had an affair, wanted a divorce. Your mother refused. He caused it. The car accident was staged. My fingers went cold. Do you have proof? Your father used to be my legal advisor. She coughed. Handled some dirty business. I left evidence in a Swiss bank safe. The password is your birthday. She grabbed my hand. I'm offering this secret in exchange for your forgiveness. Will you? I looked at her frail hand, then pulled away. I do not forgive, I said, but thank you for telling me the truth. Her eyes dimmed. You are truly cruel. Learned from you, I said, and turned to leave. At the door, I paused. By the way, your cancer is fake, isn't it? A forged diagnosis to get medical parole? She said nothing. I smiled. Bingo. I'll notify the prison authorities. The door closed. Inside came a heart-wrenching scream. I didn't look back. Another spring. I held a book signing in a small Tuscan town. The line stretched hundreds of meters. A little girl ran up and handed me a copy of Just Deserved. Big Sister Mandy, I want to be a writer when I grow up. I crouched down. Why? Because you said writing isn't to prove anything. It's for freedom. I smiled and signed her book. You're right. After the signing, Noah picked me up in a vintage convertible. Good news, he said. The Writers' Protection Program got UN funding. Next year, we can open the first center in Africa. That's amazing. I climbed into the passenger seat. Do you need my help? Of course. He started the car. But today we celebrate first. I booked your favorite restaurant. The car wound along the hillside. Sunset turned the vineyards gold. My phone rang. Ethan's lawyer, MS. Mandy Quinn. Mr. Ethan Cole passed away last week. Drug overdose. He left a letter for you. Should I send it? I looked out at the landscape. No need, I said. Burn it. I hung up. Noah glanced at me. You okay? I'm fine. I smiled. It's finally over. The car turned a corner, revealing endless sunflowers. Golden, bright, wildly growing, just like my new life. I no longer need to prove my talent. I no longer need anyone's love. I no longer need to explain myself to the world. I am Mandy Quinn, writer, warrior, free woman. The wind tossed my hair. I closed my eyes. Peace. Finally. My own summit.